Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. This is a LinkedIn for job search class. It's the very beginning of a three-part series. So tonight is going to be really a very basic introduction to LinkedIn, to the interface, the navigation, the different kind of things you see on the website. And then we're going to dive really deep into the LinkedIn profile and how to build a great profile. So why LinkedIn? Right? Why does LinkedIn merit a three-part workshop on job searching? What's so special about it? LinkedIn is the largest professional network in the world. So one of the special things about LinkedIn is the access it gives you to people that you never would have access to before. I like to think of it as a gigantic worldwide cocktail party. All right, at a cocktail party, there are no secretaries to get through, administrative assistants. You don't have to get time on anyone's calendar. You just walk up to them and make some silly joke. You be witty and you're in. And so that's what LinkedIn is like. Connections are formed based on common interests, common backgrounds, common connections. And suddenly you are able to get access to people you never and opportunities you never would have otherwise. You're also able to meet people you never would have known existed. So the possibilities are really stupendous. And it all starts by building that great profile and then starting to form connections that are beneficial for your goals. Also, according to a study that's actually a few years old now, so I should get an updated number, but 87% of recruiters use LinkedIn. And not just use LinkedIn, LinkedIn is really the main tool and platform for the recruiting industry nowadays. My friend was a headhunter for a while, and this was actually a few years back, and that's just how he did it. He used LinkedIn. He would search for likely candidates, connect with them on LinkedIn, and start doing his thing, right? So they're using LinkedIn to find job candidates. So you need to be on LinkedIn if you want to be found. And you can see this big blue section, right? The bulk of LinkedIn's revenue, how it keeps the lights on, the bulk of LinkedIn's money comes from talent solutions. These are companies that pay LinkedIn for a special set of tools to find people to hire. So LinkedIn is motivated to get you hired because the more successful employee-employer connections LinkedIn makes, the more money it gets. So one final reason that I really like to talk about when I talk about why to go on LinkedIn is it's about taking control of your online presence. My friend Adam, he Googled himself years ago before he had a LinkedIn profile. And unfortunately, what came up was all these search hits about an escaped felon from the 1980s named Adam Alley, okay? So obviously this is a problem because let me tell you one thing for certain, you will be Googled when you are applying for jobs. They are Googling you, right? They're Googling you no matter what. And anything that's out there on the internet about you or anyone else with your name is going to show up in that search. So how can you start taking control of that, right? I mean, this security and privacy thing with the internet is very worrisome. We all have concerns about that. LinkedIn, it's kind of counterintuitive because we think that we can protect ourselves by putting less information out there, by not being on these social networks. But actually, the opposite is true for LinkedIn. LinkedIn provides you a measure of control, all right? My friend Adam, he went on LinkedIn, he built a great profile, and now when he Googles himself, this is what he sees. LinkedIn is the top 2 results. And who controls what's on your LinkedIn profile? Only you. Only you, no one else. This isn't Facebook where people can post on your wall and you have to clean it up every once in a while, right? This isn't Twitter where people can mention you, right? And it shows up and you don't really have control over that. Your LinkedIn profile is only what you put on it. All right, creating an account. Let's dive into LinkedIn and we'll go over this for those of you that don't have an account yet. Open up your web browser and in the address bar, type in linkedin.com. This is what you'll see. Now, if you don't yet have an account, you want to focus on this box in the middle. You want your first name, your last name, your email address, and a password. So some notes about that. First of all, you want it to be your real name because otherwise people will be confused. They won't be able to find you. The whole point is that they find you on LinkedIn and they're impressed by your profile. Okay? So you want to use your real name. You need to use an email address that you have access to. You need to use an email address that you have access to because LinkedIn's going to send you a confirmation email for setting up your account. So use an email address that's real and that you can get into. And finally, a password. And we mentioned security, so just a cybersecurity PSA. Please don't use anything for your password that can easily be traced back to you, like your birthday or your anniversary or your cat's name. Something totally random, hard to guess, and please change it at least every 6 months. Okay, and then click Join Now, and you'll go through kind of an onboarding flow. You'll have to check your email for the confirmation message. One note about the onboarding flow, there's going to be a point where they're going to invite you to connect your other accounts, right? Like your email accounts to LinkedIn. Say no, because otherwise it will invite all of your contacts, send email messages to everyone in those networks to join LinkedIn or to connect with you on LinkedIn, and you don't want that. That's like spam. So just another kind of PSA is always read the fine print. Don't just click OK and skip and OK and next without reading what you're clicking. Public service announcement. All right, so I'm going to sign in. I already have an account, so I'm going to sign in at the top here using the email address and password that I used when I set up my account. And I recently changed my password, so see if I remember it correctly. Great, okay. This is another step that I recommend you put into your account when you're setting it up, two-step verification. Whenever I sign in from a device that LinkedIn doesn't recognize, meaning I haven't told LinkedIn to recognize it, it sends me a text message on my cell phone just to make sure it's really me. And then I have to input the code from that text message, which I've already gotten. And I'm going to do that right now. And the code changes every time, so I'm not giving away any of my state secrets to you guys. And I'm going to uncheck this box that says recognize this device in the future. There we go. I'm going to uncheck it because this is a public computer. So even though I'm here every month, I do not want LinkedIn to recognize this computer. And I'm going to click verify. And now LinkedIn brings me to my homepage. All right. All right, so we'll do a quick tour of the navigation and of the home page, and then we'll dive right into the profile. So the top bar here, all right? We've got, your basic branding here. This is just, oh yeah, I'm at LinkedIn, and if I click that, it brings me back to my home page. This white bar is the search bar. You can type anything into here, and it'll act like a Google search, but just within LinkedIn. So if I type Shari in there, it'll bring up every person, place, or thing that has the word Shari in it, and then I can filter from there. There's also advanced search right here, and we may have time to go into advanced search later. That's for if you want to do like specific filters for people, that kind of thing. Over on the right here, you have these crazy icons, and when you mouse over them, they expand. So this one, with the speech bubbles, is messages. Makes sense. These are people who have directly messaged me. I actually have one right here that I haven't had a chance to answer yet. The flag are notifications, things that are happening in my network or to me that LinkedIn thinks I should pay attention to. And then the torso are people who have invited me to connect, right? So I need to make sure that I check those out and decide if I'm going to connect with people. All right, so then you mouse over your little picture in the corner, and this is your account and settings menu. All right, and for the most part, you can explore this on your own. But I do want to go into the privacy and settings page because I think this is an important one for us all to get a preview of. Okay, so the account and settings menu. Scroll down to privacy and settings, and then click manage. All right, so this is an overwhelming page, frankly. There's a lot here. We don't have time to go through all of it. I'm just going to highlight a few things for you, but I definitely encourage you to explore it on your own. There's a lot here. It gives you a lot of control over different settings, including privacy and security in your account. So if you scroll down, these are just the basics, right? Scroll down, basics, third-party subscriptions. This is the account tab. I'm going to click privacy. All right, so there's so many different little bits here. It's just hard to know where to go first. I just suggest exploring everything. but you can see how your public profile appears in search engines. So remember that Google search I showed you, right? So if I was not connected to LinkedIn at all and I searched Adam Alley and clicked on one of those links, Adam would be able to say exactly which sections of his profile showed up to me, just as like a random person on the internet, right? I'm not connected to him or anything like that. So that's the level of control you have. I could say, okay, I want the public to be able to see my education background, but not my work history. And I want them to be able to see my skills, but not my certifications, all right? So there's all sorts of levels of control you can have. And then there's also, you can see, you can control blocking different people and who can follow you. And then there's all sorts of data privacy and advertising controls that you can put in as well. So there's really a lot here. I recommend that you go through it. Let's scroll down to security. This is where you can put in the two-step verification. You go into privacy and settings when you mouse over your picture, and then click the privacy tab and scroll down to security, and you can add that two-step verification, which is a really great thing to add to your account. Okay, now that we've gone through that, I'm going to go back to the home page. Oh, and also when I move my cursor back up to the top bar, this navigation shows up, okay? And this is kind of the main navigation for the entire site. It's how I get around, all right? These are more like quick links or like account-based things, and this is the main site navigation here. So I'm gonna click home to take me to my home page. Let's do a quick tour of the home page. The home page is a great place to just get a snapshot of what's going on in your network. Kind of like the Facebook news feed, right? There is actually a news feed here. If you scroll down in the middle here, these are all of the connections I have in my network, as well as the companies I'm following, the groups I'm a part of, and I just get to see new stuff that's going on, right? So my connection, Alex, one person liked his comment, all right? So it's very similar to how Facebook does it if you're familiar to Facebook, but it's a great way to stay up to date on what's going on in your network so that you can then participate, which is one way that you stay top of mind for the people in your professional network, by participating. Let's just take a look at this top part here. That's me, all right? Some interesting statistics about me, right? So 5 people have viewed my profile, and here are some jobs that LinkedIn thinks I might be interested in, right? And then there's some actions I can take. I can share an update, which is basically like a status. I can upload a photo, or I can write an article. So LinkedIn allows you to write kind of like blog posts that get posted to LinkedIn and shared with your network. And that's actually something we go over more in the third advanced session of the course, but it's a great way to build up your street cred, and your reputation on LinkedIn. What about this box here? So LinkedIn is always trying to give you easy ways to build your network by connecting with more people and interacting with your network, staying connected, because the stronger the web that connects all the people on LinkedIn, the better LinkedIn is able to market, advertise, and then connect potential employers. And remember that revenue graph I showed you. LinkedIn's major motivation is to get more companies paying for those recruiting solutions, the talent solutions. So the stronger the network, the easier it is to find viable candidates, right? So LinkedIn wants me to be engaged with my network and to be constantly building more connections. So this is an example of how LinkedIn does that for me. It suggests ways I can engage with my connections. So Daniel has a new job, and I can like that, I can message him, or I could skip it. I'm gonna like it. He's a former intern of mine. And then here's another one. Stephen has a work anniversary. I'm gonna skip that. Skip that. Oh, she's a coworker. And if it was a really close connection, or if it was someone that I was trying to strengthen my relationship with, perhaps I wanted to reach out to them and ask for a professional favor or for an introduction, I might not only like it, but I might message the person and say, Sarah, congratulations, that's wonderful. Why don't we catch up sometime, right? This is a reason to reach out to someone and rekindle a relationship, right? So it's a great opportunity. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly go through these so that I can show you the next part of it. Okay, so now I'm all caught up, and now LinkedIn is suggesting new people with whom I should connect, right? So that's the next step there. So that's basically the major part of the homepage. Definitely spend some time there once you've started to build up a network, to just engaging with your network. It's a quick, easy way to do that. Let's go on to the rest of the navigation. This is where you can control your profile and some of the information about your profile. We're going to spend most of our time here tonight, so I'm going to quickly go over the rest of the stuff. My network. That's where I can see my connections. I can search for new connections. And LinkedIn even suggests some ways I can do that, like find alumni or people you may know. And what's the people you may know? Let's just go into that because it's exciting. So this is basically LinkedIn working its data magic based on the other people I'm already connected with, or the groups I'm a part of, or the places I've worked, or the places I've gone to school. Who do I probably know, right? And some of this is I mean, generally they're pretty good. Sometimes not so much. So like Mara and James, I know them really well. I'm pretty sure I know Kim. Don't think I know Laura, but it's possible, right? So it's tough sometimes to know, right? Yeah, and like some of these people I sort of could think about who they are, some of them not so much. So it just, but then, you know, I have 18 connections in common with Mitchell. So obviously, professionally, there's a lot connecting us. It's just maybe we haven't directly interacted or I don't remember it. So there's a lot of great opportunity here to build a network. All right, so that's my network. In jobs, this is your jobs hub on LinkedIn. All right, and this is, again, something we cover more in the second and third sessions. But this is where you go to search for jobs, to apply for jobs, to see which jobs you have applied for or searched for. LinkedIn has a bunch of different ways that it suggests jobs for you. It's a cool page, so you should explore it. And then interests. The interests tab I like to think of as your sort of strategic hub for building a strong network, right? So you've got your profile, you've got jobs, you've got your like basic connections. But how do you then kind of, once you've kind of exhausted those basic things, how do you build a great network of people that you don't even know exist yet? That's in interests, right? Following companies, joining groups, and then you've got all these other. SlideShare is a presentation platform. Learning, you can actually build your skills from LinkedIn. So there's all sorts of stuff. And this is stuff that for the most part we cover in the second and third sessions, but definitely feel free to explore it as well. And then this stuff, business services, is if you're a company, this is where you would pay LinkedIn for those special packages that you saw in that chart. And I am part of a company and we do pay for those packages, so that's why you see that. And then upgrade, and that's if I wanted to pay even more for an even better account. So there is a premium job seeker account on LinkedIn. It's my belief that you can be totally successful on LinkedIn without a premium account. But there are some features that you might believe are worth it for you, and I think that's totally fine, right? So it's just a personal decision that you should make. But nothing takes the place and nothing is as impactful as a high quality network that you are engaging with, right? That is going to be what, in the end, brings you that success. You know, your network of people who can introduce you to someone, who can introduce you to someone who can give you your dream job, right?